Beloved, God is always at work in your life. Throughout the Bible, we observe God at work in people's lives. Sometimes he acts in a dramatic fashion, like as in parting the Red Sea to allow the Israelites to escape the Egyptian army. That was dramatic. At other times, it may appear as if he's not taking an action. Mary and Martha, for example, sent word to Jesus that their brother needed his help. But, Christ delayed before traveling to their home. We see that in John chapter 11, verses 3 to 6. It reads, so the sisters sent to him saying, Lord, he whom you love so well is sick. When Jesus received the message, he said, this sickness is not to end in death, but on the contrary, it is to honor God and promote his glory, that the Son of God may be glorified through and by it. Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. They were his dear friends, and he held them in loving esteem. Therefore, even when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he still stayed 2 days longer in the same place where he was. So sometimes he delays. Sometimes he acts in a dramatic fashion. Our Father has given us the Holy Spirit to help us recognize his presence and his handwork. The Spirit cultivates spiritual discernment in us so we can understand when and where he's at work. In addition to spiritual discernment, we must develop patience, because the Lord operates according to his timetable, not ours. After being promised, for example, numerous descendants are going to come from his loins, Abraham had to wait until he and Sarah were beyond childbearing years before she conceived. I think he did it with a bit of impatience, because impatience can cause us to take matters into our own hands and make mistakes. That's how Ishmael came to be. But one needs to develop patience, knowing that certainly God is at work. If he said he would do it, then he will do it. Sometimes, and that's the Lord's efforts can bring delight, as was the case when Hannah bore a child. We find in the first book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 27 up to chapter 2, verse 1. It says, for this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted my petition made to him. Therefore, I have given him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he's given to the Lord, and they worshiped the Lord there. Now, Hannah prayed and said, my heart exalts and triumphs in the Lord. My horn, my strength is lifted up in the Lord. My mouth is no longer silent, for it is opened wide over my enemies, because I rejoice in your salvation. I rejoice in your salvation. So that's when God's action can bring delight. But sometimes his plan can also lead through painful times, which was Joseph's experience. Before the Lord elevated him to a position of authority to help his family, Joseph was sold into slavery and unjustly imprisoned. Jesus told, Jesus told the disciples that his father was always at work. And this is what I wanted to share with you today. The father is always at work, and so is Jesus. Remember, Jesus told the disciples that his father was always at work, and so was he. We will be encouraged and strengthened in our faith when we know and recognize the ways in which God is operating. I pray that these glimpses we have shared today of his handwork will motivate us to stay the course and not get discouraged. Stay the course and help us maintain a godly perspective on life. May God bless you, beloved. May God bless his word.